think in a short period of time, I think what you have to do is understand how to these people to trust you, that you're not here to be an individual, you're not here to disrupt anything, you just want to be a part of their family and help them have success, and we all do this thing together. And I think you get that by one thing: you put your nose down, you go to work, and you treat people very fairly, and they see that your work ethic, your demeanor, your personality is there to be one of them, not to be above them or anything else there. And you know, you get acclimated, and people, once they realize that you're there with them and you're walking side by side with them and you're there to help when their success, they usually accept you, and then then you go to play.
Coach, right here to our right, tucked in the corner.
Yes, sir.
Coach Jimbo Fisher, or Danny Morales from theskyboat.com. Obviously you. Obviously,
yeah, you want to be me?
Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm trying.
I'll give it to you on some Saturdays, I promise.
You brought Roberto Aguayo here. Obviously, a little odd to see a kicker here, but can you talk about the leadership that he's shown, and especially just from being the kicker?
You know, it's odd until you meet Roberto. I mean, you know, you say a kicker, but to me, he's going to be one of the greatest probably in college football history. I mean, this guy is a special guy. But the respect he has on our team, he's so athletic and he plays, but when you watch him work and practice, the grind, I mean, he's good because he's talented, but he's great because he has tremendous work ethic. And he has an unbelievable, I mean, he's a perfectionist. And our kids see that. And I mean, the confidence, when he walks on the field, man, our kids, they just jump up to, well, how far is he kicking this one? Where's this one? I mean, you know it's going, but they know what's coming. And the respect they have for him. And I mean, now I've been around some great, when we had Dustin Hopkins, Graham Gano, we've had a great run of kickers here, and he's carrying that tradition. But this guy's a special guy. I mean, and he's a great leader in our team and has a huge influence and impact on our players.
Front row left here, Coach.
Yes.
Jimbo, Dan Tortora, Broadcast Media. To look at this team on the field with all the success you've had off the field, you've always been able to, no matter what's going on, corral the team and get them together to play strong football. What can you say about this family and the environment that you've created, that even when things are happening off the field, you can still get it done?
Well, I think life is like that. Nothing, think about your life individually. Nothing's ever smooth. Nothing, there's always an issue. There's always a problem. And you talk about learning to perform and getting that athletics teaches you for life. Just like the scenarios I go through with my son. I mean, I revert back to when I was a player, how to compartmentalize, how to deal with issues. And these guys, there's always, and a lot of these guys come from those things, and being able to compartmentalize and take care of the things you can take care of, and don't let, I got one problem here. I don't need two problems by letting this go away. And that's when you're a husband, you're a father, you're a mentor, you're a grand, whatever it may be, there's issues at work. There's always going to be something in life. Life never goes smoothly, and it's not fair. And what it teaches these kids that we're trying to is that you got to control the things you can control at the time you can control them, and then deal with the others later. And we've put a lot of time in our mental conditioning, our mental preparation, our sports psychology, and all those programs to be able to help these kids deal with that, because it's not just helping them win football games. It'll help them down the road in life, because that's exactly what I'm dealing with the certain personal circumstances I go through now and all the different things.
Coach right side, fourth row, blue shirt.
Yes.
Jeff Gravely, WRL in Raleigh. How frustrating has it been for you with the recent activities off the field and the fact that your president had to step in and basically say, hey, let's get this in order?
Well, I think it's disappointing. But our president is over there when we're doing well. We communicate quite often, once or twice a week. He's in the locker room when we're winning. He's in there. He's very supportive of our athletics. But we also know that we're the window of this university, and we take that. And I think bringing him over, along with myself, our AD, to get, it's another voice to these kids, because it takes a village to raise kids. When you hear, it's like teachers. You're the principal, all right? You're the principal of an organization, but you have so many different teachers that affect the kids daily. When they hear it from a different voice, a different way, a different importance, they say, it catches their attention. Because one of the challenges of coaching, I think it's the ultimate challenge, and one of the things about coaching that I love the most and it's the most frustrating. Just like today, I'm speaking, there's what, 75 people in here maybe? Whatever I say today can be interpreted and written 75 different ways. And will be. That's human nature. We all process information on our own level totally differently. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like players, you're talking to 120 players, and you're saying that. They're hearing it 120 different ways, and how they process it and how they filter it. And I think the more voices you get there, they emphasize the importance of it, the role in which they play, and that's one of the challenges as a coach is he interprets it this way, he interprets it this way, he interprets it this way, and always making sure that you have the individual relationship with those guys to be able to get them to hear that message consistently. And I think when you have great people like President Thrasher and our AD, Stan Wilcox, and all those guys helping in that, I think it only enhances it. And I think that's one of the challenges of when you're dealing with such a large variety of players.
We'll swing to the left at the table towards the corner.
Hey,
Yes.
Coach, Mark Larson, Time Warner Cable News, Syracuse. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm all right. You've won 29 out of 30 games, and suddenly you're the underdog in the preseason poll. How's that feel?
You know, when we were the favorite, they didn't give me the trophy at this thing. So we had to go win it. When you're the underdog, they don't give you, they're not giving Clemson the trophy. You know, it's all about how you perceive yourself, I think, and going at it. I mean, it's great to have the expectations, and they're in Clemson deserves it. I think they're a great program. They've had great consistency. Dabo's done a tremendous job, and we'll have our work cut out. But there's other great teams: Louisville, Miami, Georgia Tech. I mean, going on our whole conference, and we have to have those preseason polls, but. If it would, I'd have more free time on the weekends. If we just had to live by those preseason polls, it'd be more fun anyway. I don't know if it would or not, but no, it's just what it is. And it shows you, to me, the depth of the conference. That we've had 3 conference championships in a row, but then they're thinking another team's going to come in here and win it, and another team will win. To me, that's only great for the ACC because I think there's such a great brand of football out there.
Left side, second row.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com coach. Florida State, the school of Peter Boulware and Reinhard Wilson, finished dead last in sacks. Is that acceptable? Do you feel like you can get more pressure on the quarterback this year?
I'm just worried about winning games, whether you're sacks or whatever. I mean, if that helps us win games, it does. I think we will. I think we'll have more fast twitch guys. But style of defense, the way things go, those are all things that you have to consider when you do that. And you have to do, in an offense, you do what your players can do. On defense, you do what your players can do. And hopefully, but you do have to pressure the quarterback, and that's something we must get better at.
Camera position in the back once again.
Coach, with the offensive line this year replacing a bunch of guys, but how important is that these guys have had a chance to work behind the guys who have left and aren't being necessarily thrown into the fire right away?
Well, I think it goes back to your culture, and I think that's the most important thing of any organization. How the kids eat, think, believe, and the way they act. And I think the standard that's been set by the previous groups for these young guys to watch, learn, and experience, I think, were very critical because talent, we are a very talented football team. Now, hopefully they can take the work ethic and demeanor of the previous teams and how they prepared and got ready to play and be able to take it to the field. And I think it's very critical from the group before of how they've related this group because I like our offensive line. That's one of the areas I was, you always worry because up front the guys that put their hand in the dirt are very critical, but was very pleased coming out of spring of, we have a lot of work to do, but I can see where we can have a very good football team up there.
Right side, third row, orange shirt.
Coach Trevor Groves, CUTigers.com. You have developed a pretty strong intra-divisional rivalry with Clemson. I think it's the last 6 years. The winner of that game has won the division. Last 5 years, one of those 2 teams has won the conference. Do you have a particular preference? You're playing Death Valley in November this season. Last couple of seasons, it's been earlier in the season. Do you have a preference as far as playing that game earlier or later in the season?
No, I don't necessarily. I think, it's fun. But, it's become such a great rivalry. And I think one of the things about rivalries you do is you set a time for them, and you play them the same every year. I think that's a very good thing to do because that is really, like I say, it's one of our interdivision rivalries. It's very good. And whether it's early, late, in the middle, just find the time because every great rivalry out there in college football, you know the date, you know the time, and you know the network. They're always on the same time, same date, same network, whatever it may be. And I think that this game could evolve, is really evolving into that. And I think, that's something we need to think about because I think it only builds the brand, not those 2 teams, but your conference.
Coach, same row, blue shirt.
Alex Dodd, Dodd Sports Network. Coach, you lose half of your starters this year, so there are a lot of question marks on the board. Have you seen younger guys step up and fill those roles?
That's one of the things I'm the most excited about is, whether they fill those roles, they have to do it on Saturdays when the scoreboard counts, when those numbers really matter on that scoreboard. So, but I like the demeanor of this team. I think the chemistry of it's very good. I like the work ethic of it, the hunger. They're fighting to be the next guy up, the competition within practice. And again, talent, we are very talented. But what we have to do right now, and I think it's what was happening in sports today, we're pushing this up so much. Guy plays as a freshman. He plays as a sophomore. He goes to the league as a junior. And I think what you're starting to see in the NFL right now, it's like they're having a spring developmental league. I think there's better athletes playing football than ever. Well, we got to make sure there's great football players playing football. And I think there's a difference of learning to be a great football player compared to being a great athlete. And I think that's why you're seeing the NFL. These guys are all coming out so early. Back in the old days, you never played as a redshirt junior. Now these kids are playing as a freshman and leaving as a junior. So my point is getting them developed, and I think it's the same way with that. We're having to play younger players because of that consistently every year. So I think our challenge this year is this. We're a very talented football team. We have to do a great job of coaches of educating and teaching what a football player is, and our players have to do a great job of learning and accepting that coaching and developing. And I think that's going to be the key to our success because we have talent, I have our staff, we have a great staff. We got to get them into being good football players and not good athletes.
Camera platform very back.
Coach, Kent Taylor from Wave TV in Louisville. You came into Louisville on a Thursday night last year. It was an electric atmosphere.
It was.
They're going to travel to Tallahassee in October. What's different about a game day in Tallahassee? What can you tell me about that atmosphere, what they're going to experience this time around?
Well, I think it'll be a great, because I think Louisville has great, Bobby's a great coach, they've got great tradition, and they, as I say, they had a tremendous football team. Everybody talked about our talent. We had 11 guys drafted. They had 10. See, that's another stat that people don't realize. The division with the most draft picks in all of college football was the ACC Atlantic Division. We had the most draft picks of any division in all of college football when they talk about the quality of ball in the ACC. And Louisville's one heck of a football team. It'll be a great environment because we're going to have to bring our A game like we do every week to play them. They're very talented, very well coached, and I'm sure it'll be just as electric down there as it was in Louisville. That was a great night. I mean, I know we won the game, but I'm talking about atmosphere for college football. That was a tremendous night.